It's 10 a.m. and this is WKYT Midmorning. Central Kentucky deals with damage brought by overnight storms, and we have a lot of rain coming down in parts of the area now.
An overnight disturbance in Richmond prompts a major police presence near the EKU campus.
And the governor details his plan to replace the state's expanded Medicaid program.
This is WKYT Midmorning.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. It is Wednesday, June 22nd. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. After a night of storms in some parts of central Kentucky, this is another WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. More rain is here right now.
It is, and more on the way as we head through the day. Let's bring in meteorologist Micah Harris for a first look at weather.
Yeah, you can actually hear that on the rooftops here at WKYT Studios live here in Lexington. And this is actually out ahead of the main cell. The main cell is still well back toward the west. You get in toward Franklin County and right over Lawrenceburg there in Anderson County. That is a strong cell right there. That's number one. It's heading toward Lexington. I would expect that here in just the next 30 minutes. It's not going to be very pleasant trying to get out in that. Another cell right now heading into Mount Olivet. We're already over Mount Olivet. It is heading eastbound. Southern portions of Mason County, northern portions of Fleming County. Heads up as that cell heads your direction. The bad news here is we have plenty more back toward the north and northwest to talk about. I'm going to talk about flooding and also damaging wind gusts, maybe even later on this afternoon with another batch coming up.
Okay, thank you, Micah.
First, this mid-morning, around 400,000 Kentuckians are about to find out what Governor Matt Bevin will do with their health insurance.
At a news conference going on right now in Frankfort, the governor is detailing his plan to replace the state's Medicaid program. Former Governor Steve Beshear expanded the program to provide those 400,000 people with health insurance. The current governor, said the expanded program is too expensive and is unsustainable. And today he said the state is asking the federal government to now approve a Medicaid waiver application.
It is one that expects a level of participation and engagement. It is one that is sustainable. It is one that is ultimately financially viable, not only in the near term but in the long term. One that will transform health care in this state, and I think ultimately because of some of the things we're doing, it has the ability to transform the way in which health care is applied nationally as well.
The governor said he will find out in the coming days if the federal government will approve Kentucky's application. We'll have much more coming up on WKYT News at noon and immediately as we get more details at WKYT.com.
An Estill County family is cleaning up this morning after severe weather left their home a mess. The Beckner family says a lightning strike caused a tree to fall on their home, puncturing their roof. Neighbors told us they actually saw the strike moments before the tree collapsed. Yesterday's round of storms also left some damage around Lexington. Part of a large tree fell on top of a parked SUV outside a home on Haley Pike. And another tree limb fell on Royster Road. No injuries were reported.
Lexington drivers had to deal with a major delay earlier today when construction crews hit a gas line while they were working on South Broadway. The traffic artery near the UK campus was completely closed from Dakota Court to Virginia Avenue for several hours. That caused backups and it forced a lot of drivers to have to take alternate routes. The stretch of road was closed around 3 this morning after crews hit that gas line while they were replacing some sewer lines. Traffic is still affected, but one inbound and both outbound lanes on South Broadway are now open. A large police presence was on hand in downtown Richmond overnight. The footage we're showing you now is the scene near 2nd and Irvin Streets, just north of downtown, not far from Eastern Kentucky University's campus. Our crew was kept away from the scene by police. We're told it may have involved a standoff so far. There is no comment from Richmond police. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office is now asking for help in finding the driver who left a 10-year-old boy lying in the road after hitting him earlier this week. Investigators say the boy was playing with his brother near Rock Lick Creek on Monday night when their grandfather was doing some farm work nearby. As the boy came up from the creek, it's when investigators believe he was hit. Since the accident happened on a rural roadway, there were no witnesses. Investigators tell us they're looking for a red 4-door car driven by a woman, which was seen in the area around the time of the crash. The Pulaski County coroner has identified the boy, but his family has asked us not to use his name out of respect.
Jessamine County officials are now calling on the state to make Highway 39 in Nicholasville safer after another accident happened there. The latest happened Monday night when police say Ashton Boyd crashed his car into Faulkner Fane Woodworking. The coroner said Boyd later died at a hospital. The county's judge executive calls the stretch of Highway 39 dangerous because drivers come over a hill straight into a curve. He says accidents in the area likely will keep happening if changes aren't made. The owner of the building told us this is the 5th time an accident has happened near his business.
The girlfriend of a man charged in a Richmond shooting says he was acting out of self-defense. 18-year-old Jimmy Skinner is charged with wanton endangerment and attempted murder. The Richmond police say that Skinner shot Sammy Isaacs during what they say was a drive-by shooting along Turpin Drive Sunday night. Skinner's girlfriend, Alicia Malacote, was in the car with their 2-year-old daughter and a couple of friends when the shooting happened. She says Isaacs approached her car and started to threaten them.
Assumes cuts in the last budget and not quoting either of the statutes that they're arguing.
And there's Attorney General Andy Beshear. But back to the Richmond story, Malacote says they did not find out until later that Isaacs was hit by one of those bullets. At last check, Isaacs remains in critical condition and is on a ventilator.
A popular Lexington restaurant near UK's campus has been temporarily shut down. Red Bang Bang Chinese restaurant on West Maxwell closed its doors yesterday. The Fayette County Health Department hasn't said why the restaurant was shut down, but in recent days a Facebook post has gone viral claiming someone found a dead mouse in food purchased at the restaurant. Red Bang Bang managers say the customer who made that claim bought food, left, then returned minutes later claiming to have found the mouse. Owners also say that customer later asked for $25,000 from them. The restaurant has since reached out to the health department for an immediate inspection.
Crews are still battling 2 wildfires burning a little more than a mile apart in California's San Gabriel Mountains. They're afraid they're going to come together.
It has been an incredible season for them. The San Gabriel complex fire has burned more than 4,900 acres and is only 10% contained. Danielle Nottingham has the latest now from Duarte, California.
And they are taking
overnight, air crews in California continued water drops above the San Gabriel Mountains to keep 2 raging wildfires from joining forces. The fires, which began in Duarte and Azusa Monday, have already burned thousands of acres and forced hundreds from their homes. Robert Ramos, who lives in Duarte, says he's packed and ready to go in case the flames approach.
Luggages, pillows, my wife's wedding dress.
Liz Riley is among those who have already evacuated. She's staying at a Red Cross shelter that's providing hot meals and an air-conditioned trailer for pets.
It's the first time that we've really had this high a temperature for this many days, and it's just going to get worse.
Along with intense heat, fire crews are concerned that a shift in wind direction could push those flames down the hill and threaten more homes. The burning brush has left parts of some communities near the blaze covered in soot.
There was a lot of ash all over my car and all in the backyard. It was like a volcano had been around here and erupted.
Temporary relief from the triple-digit temperatures is expected today. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Duarte, California.
More than 1,000 firefighters are currently battling the San Gabriel complex fire. Pretty amazing task that they have in front of them.
They do, and hopefully they can, bring things under control quickly.
We'll keep it right here this mid-morning.
Back in just a moment, we'll show you what it looks like when ducks begin falling from the sky and they weren't flying.
And James Corden was at it again, singing in the car with another famous guest.
No severe weather right now, and I say right now because here in the next couple of minutes we could have some strong cells out there at this moment. I'm going to show you where they are moving and if we have much more going on later on this afternoon. That's coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Strong thunderstorms outside early this morning, and they're still funneling on in. And if you're not seeing them just yet or hearing them just yet, you're over toward the east-southeast. Know this, it's heading your direction, and we got some pretty strong cells, too. 2 cells I'm really most concerned about. One right now, right over Mount Olivet. Actually, the brunt of it has already passed through you guys across 68. 68 is going to be a wet go at it, especially down just south of Maysville in the southern portions of Mason County. Now, this is headed straight toward Flemingsburg. If you're sitting in Flemingsburg, Fredericksburg. Here comes a cell. None of this is anything severe, but it's a strong cell. A lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. Just keep that in mind. If you're trying to get the dogs out before these come, well, you better hurry up if you're over toward the Mountain Parkway, 64 headed toward Moorhead. You better go ahead and do that now because they won't be getting outside here in the next hour or so. The next strongest cell that I want to really zoom in on is the one that's over Lawrenceburg at the moment. Lawrenceburg absolutely getting hammered with heavy rain right along 62. That is a nasty go at it right there. And also working your way into Versailles. This is tracking toward the east-southeast. Lexington will be roughly 1030. You go over toward Winchester and Clark County, then you're talking about roughly 11 a.m. So you still have some time in Winchester. The problem is you're going to have some stuff out ahead of that too. That's moderate to heavier downpours. This is no doubt about it, torrential rain that's going to be falling on your rooftops and your yards here very shortly, which I'll be honest with you, as long as it's not severe, I'm okay with that. I hate the lightning, but I really love that heavy rain that's going to be falling on my yard very shortly, just due to the fact that I haven't had rain in a long time, and I know most of you haven't, just hearing from Facebook and Twitter. I want to point this out, though. Here's where I get a little bit concerned about this, is now we're in a pattern where it's one storm after another. I mean, look at this going all the way up toward Iowa. I mean, that's heading our direction. It's going to be one storm after another. So flash flooding is going to be my main concern as of right now, then damaging winds later on this afternoon, because we actually have another shot at severe storms, strong to severe storms later on this afternoon. There's your greatest chance for severe weather in the rain-shaded area. Afternoon, it's going to be the central northern zones that has the greatest risk for the potential for some damaging winds. But yeah, you got to watch out for flash flooding too, and also damaging winds as well. That's going to go today, not only today, guys, but tomorrow too. I mean, we have the next 48 hours going to be pretty active, and then Friday and Saturday we finally push that nasty stuff on out. It's finally long gone by then.
And then back to other kinds of summer weather.
Right, the heat. You're right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Micah. What goes up must come down. And what came down on a family in Florida gives new meaning to the warning duck.
Right, as in quack quack here. A family spending a day at Busch Gardens was making their way to a kiddie ride, and then several baby ducks started raining down on top of them from a nest that was perched on the edge of a stone wall. The dad quickly used his hands to catch the falling hatchlings so they didn't get hurt. The family then delivered the little guys to park staff members, who eventually reunited them with the mama duck. So it ends well.
I'm glad it has a happy ending. And how nice of him to try to catch them and try to save them from harm.
All right, so it all
good
worked out.
Well, Blake Lively has a scary day at the beach. Also, Steven Spielberg brings the BFG to the big screen.
And the First Lady is hitting the road with James Corden. Chris Martinez has your eye on entertainment.
Hey, Snapchat! First Lady Michelle Obama joined Snapchat on Tuesday and chronicled her day with James Corden.
Hi, I'm at the White House today, and I'm going to take a spin in a car and sing some songs with me.
The two taped a segment of Carpool Karaoke that will air on The Late Late Show at a later date. Steven Spielberg got a red carpet welcome for the U.S. premiere of his new Disney movie. The BFG is based on the classic children's book about a young girl and her giant friend who introduces her to the thrills and chills of giant country.
Well, I think the movie stands up to the book because I read the books. Actually, I've read the book more times. I've probably seen my own movie.
The BFG opens in theaters July 1st. A day at the beach becomes a fight for survival in the summer thriller, The Shallows. Blake Lively stars as a young surfer stranded on a rock while a great white shark circles below. She joined the cast in New York for the world premiere.
It is an emotional film, but it's also on a primal, thrilling level. It works in both mediums, and I think that's pretty cool.
The Shallows was filmed in Australia and opens Friday. That's your eye on entertainment. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Lots to see and do there. Well, thousands of fans are expected to line the streets of Cleveland today to honor the NBA champion Cavaliers.
Expecting a crowd, LeBron James and the Cavs came back from a 3-1 deficit on Sunday night, and they beat Golden State, the Warriors, 93-89 in Game 7. James, who grew up in nearby Akron, was named the final's most valuable player. It's the city's first major pro sports title of any kind since 1964. They are savoring the moment.
The celebration continues big time, yes. They earned it.
All right, here's a question. Do you love barbecue? Well, if so, you want to stick around for our next segment.
Tips on how to barbecue like a pro, next on WKYT. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $363 million, and tonight's Powerball jackpot is $184 million.
All right, welcome back into WKYT here at Mid-Morning. The 4th of July holiday quickly approaching now. And if you're thinking about firing up the smoker for some barbecue, we have an expert with us in the studio.
Alan Lamoureux, the culinary director of Bluegrass Hospitality Group, is here and cooking up some delicious pork, sharing tips with us. Welcome,
take a look
glad to have you here.
What it brought here.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I've got some great baby back ribs here today.
And you know what to do with them.
I sure do.
Yeah, Chef, what is the secret to good barbecue?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing that people have a problem with is that they're impatient.
Mm-hmm.
For good barbecue, it takes some time, it takes a lot of practice, and just letting that meat grab all that smoke and all the let that meat just cook nice and slow.
So that's probably the most common mistake that people do. Well, what do? You have some great meat. What do you do to make sure that you can get the most out of it?
Well, you want to make sure you're starting off with a great product to begin with. Like I said, I have some baby back ribs here today. We want to make sure that you've got your fire all set. You know, there's a lot of times that you've got to do some experimentation, and barbecue is from the heart, and
I like that, from the heart.
You were saying it
really
takes
good.
some time. So how much time should you?
Well, you know, like these baby back ribs, they're sometimes referred to the king of the ribs, but they'll take as long as 4 hours to cook. So you've got to have that much time to give, and if you're doing a pork butt, it could take as long as 12 hours.
What'd you bring here?
So I brought some hickory wood. Oftentimes you're not set up. You don't have a piece of equipment to do the smoking. So actually you can put this right on the grill. It'll ignite, and it'll permeate the inside of the grill. So you create some smoke itself.
So you have your original flame source, whatever that is, charcoal
exactly.
or gas
charcoal,
or
wood, exactly.
And then you would just add that on.
I would.
What's in here?
So this is a rub that we make at the restaurant. We use it for our pork ribs and pork butts. And actually, for ribs, you want them, because they're so small, you don't want to get it too far ahead. And
it smells good.
But you want to rub that right in. You know, rubs often have a lot of salt in it, and the salt draws out the moisture, so you don't want to keep it on the meat too long. It's going to go right in the smoker, right, maybe an hour, 2 hours would be the most that you would keep the rub on before you actually put it in the smoker.
Well, and of course, the easy way to do it, if you want to make sure you get that great flavor, is to come out, let you do the work, and then you can get the great sides and everything like that as well.
You always have to have sides and barbecue sauce.
Absolutely.
Perfect, and they look great.
Fantastic.
They really do.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
My takeaway from this is patience.
Patience, for sure.
And the heart.
And the heart.
Chef, thank you.
From the heart.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep it right here this mid-morning.
In just a moment, we'll check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, and it's a quick and inexpensive recipe there. Coming up next.
We're glad you're here with us today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, an experiment with Asian-style ramen noodles.
Skillet chicken ramen toss. It's budget friendly, and it can have it. You can have it there on the table in just about no time.
Today, I want to chat with you about something that's been a big part of my life, and maybe part of yours too. It's something that probably helped you out when money was tight. I'm talking about ramen noodles. Yeah, those little packs of dry noodles that are almost addictive. As many of us learned in college, instant ramen noodles are the perfect go-to meal because they're ready in less than 5 minutes. And talk about budget friendly. Did you know that if you only ate ramen noodles for an entire year, not that I suggest that you do, you would only spend about $150 on groceries? As a matter of fact, ramen noodles are so popular, they're used in so many different ways. Like here we added them to a salad to give it extra crunch, or how about creating a noodle-licious pizza crust with it? After testing all sorts of recipes with them, we came up with a few that are certainly worth sharing. Here we have some ramen noodles tossed with chunks of chicken and lots of fresh broccoli and red peppers. It's one of those skillet meals that's so quick and reasonable, you'll want to make it part of your weekly dinner routine. To get the recipe, all you have to do is go online and search for what we call Skillet Chicken Ramen Toss, along with a collection of unforgettable ramen noodle recipes. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a budget-friendly way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Ramen.
All right, I like the way you were telling our guests, get to the car quickly because
I
it's
said, I
moving
love
in.
you. I want you to stick around, but you better get out of here. Because we do have that storm that's rolling through right now downtown, getting absolutely soaked. We're actually on the east side of town and now getting the front edge of that. Jessamine County, you're getting in on the mix right now. Nicholasville, not so much Nicholasville just yet, but it's about to head over you. Winchester, you got another 30 minutes or so. And then another one up toward Fleming County. You see that over Flemingsburg. That's another strong cell. So we have two right now with a lot of rain out there, and you can see that on our live sky cam. It just doesn't look good. So if you're traveling, trying to get out to the grocery store right now is a bad time to do that here in Lexington.
Yeah, you have to be very careful about that.
That's right.
Or hang back if you're going to be carrying your groceries out. Thank you so much for being with us at Mid-Morning. All the latest coming up here at noon.
We'll see you then.